Hi everyone. All right, so today we're doing another Pinterest mailbag. These are questions that people have either asked me in my Pinterest class or they've left comments on videos that I've posted already. And I thought these were worth talking about because they come up a lot. So today we're talking about, this is kind of a few different things. It's kind of like how to pin, what to pin, that kind of stuff. The first thing I'll say is that Pinterest is not good for every niche. It's not good for every topic. And the topics that Pinterest really is strong on are, and this is off the top of my head, I might be missing something, but I'm not sure. There's fashion, okay, food, which I'm not sure how many of you do food stuff, home decor, crafts, and travel. Okay, now I'm sure that there are other categories that there are a lot of other categories on Pinterest that are actual categories, right? That there are a lot of pins about, but those are the ones that I see the most in my feeds. Those are the ones that are probably easiest to work into the Pinterest ecosystem. All right, so I'm going to say those again: fashion, food, home decor, crafts, and travel. Now, most of us if you're watching this channel, you're probably a home-based business who's a creative home-based business. You can probably fit into one of these. Maybe not all of them, but that's okay. So if you sell jewelry, accessories, anything like that, fashion, check, you're fine. Home decor would be anything like pot holders. I'm thinking of things that people sell. Pot holders, garden art, wall art, check, you're fine. Okay. Crafts, there's a lot of people that sell kits in my groups. Check, you're fine. Okay. And that also goes to the home decor thing because a lot of people who sell crafts also sell home decor stuff with the finished items. Travel, maybe not so much. I don't know. And the food, maybe not so much. But that could overlap into other things maybe. I don't know. But the home, you really, if you focus on fashion, home decor, crafts, and there are other things like planning, templates, that kind of stuff. Because on Pinterest, people do come to Pinterest to get ideas for planning and organization. But that kind of goes to the home and living. We'll call it home and living. Okay, that's kind of the home and living category, and that kind of falls into that. Life events, right? Oh, party planning. That's one I forgot. That's a big one. But that again, that's home and living, life events, birthdays, anniversaries. Those are big on Pinterest because it's a visual search engine and people go there to get ideas. Okay, so those are the things that they will do the best on Pinterest. You might be able to shove other things in there. But if you go with one of these ideas to start with, you'll be able to find more ideas to use to get traffic on Pinterest. And the reason I started with this is the question was, how do I fit my business into a Pinterest niche? Okay, so the first thing you need to do, and this is actually kind of fun. I think it's kind of fun, but I'm weird. Is go to Pinterest and just start doing searches for your types of products. How many pins are coming up? Are they accurate? And this is really important. If you're searching for like dog bandanas, let's say you make dog bandanas or dog clothes. If you search for that and you get 3 results that are accurate and everything else is not, it could mean that there's not a whole lot of demand on that for Pinterest, for that on Pinterest, or it could mean that you have a really good niche that you could wedge into the home and living category, and maybe you don't have a whole lot of competition. So you're going to have to kind of use your judgment on that. But there is a lot. There are like 11 million annotations that Pinterest uses. It's millions of annotations. I don't even know how many. They probably add them all the time, which are the interests that they use to categorize pins. So probably what you have will have an audience on Pinterest if you can figure out how to kind of aim for one of those categories. It might not be huge. It might not be a big category. Like or a big audience. I mean, I have 3 websites that I have business accounts for on Pinterest. And one of them does a lot better than the others, because it is more Pinterest focused. Like, it has more articles on it that are Pinteresty. And that's interesting to me, but that's how it is. So you can generally get some traffic from Pinterest. It might not be a ton, but it's better than nothing. And since Pinterest is not social media that you have to get on and interact with every single day, it's definitely worth doing. And once you get to the point where you do a search for your topic and your pins are the ones that are dominating that page, then you can back off a little bit and maybe just pin once a week. That's all. So it's not something you have to keep up all the time. Like, once you have an established account and your traffic has kind of topped off and you can't find other topics, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to increase your traffic. We'll just put it that way. You can take my Pinterest class because it gets Pinterest is a very big topic and it gets very complicated. But anyway, so that's how you kind of have to figure out which ones of those main categories. I'll read them again. Probably the ones that would work for most of us is fashion, home decor, crafts, maybe travel and food, and then like events, like parties, special events. I will add that because it's home and living, special events. It's all a Pinterest thing. You know if something is Pinterest friendly or not. Okay. The next question is, should you only do photo pins or text overlays too? Like, should there be words on your pins? I think 100% there should be words on your pins. In general, when people save a pretty pin picture, it's because they like the picture. You want to give people a reason to click through to the other side, right? Because Pinterest loves it when people save pins. That's their highest metric. They love it when people save pins because it shows that people are interacting on the platform and that they're being consistently engaged on the platform, and they like that. We want them to go to the outbound click and buy something. So it's a little harder for e-commerce sellers to use Pinterest at the same way that a blogger would, right? So for a blogger, all they need is someone to click out to go to their website, and that's all they need. For us, we need them to click out to the website and then buy something. So there's an extra step there. So for e-commerce, I think it's really important, just based on the way that Pinterest works, to make sure that people know that they're going to a e-commerce website if they click on this pin. So let's say I'm selling beaded bracelets. I keep using this example. So I got the beaded bracelets. I've done a pin that says beaded bracelet for women, right? On Pinterest, that could mean how to make it. It could be an article about making beaded bracelets for women. It could be something to buy. It could be information about beaded bracelets for women. But mostly on Pinterest, if you see specific keywords that indicate that people would think that that is a craft they're going to make, you don't want to use those keywords. You want to find things to put on the pin that say, like shop now. And people say that's a terrible thing to put on. No, I think it really helps. And I saw one study that said that shop now converted better. People bought more when the button says shop now. But if you tell people right away, you are going to an e-commerce site when you click on this link by saying shop now on the pin, then you won't get the clicks through where people realize, oh my God, I'm on an e-commerce website. I don't want to buy anything. And then they bounce right back. Because that sends a signal to Pinterest that is not a good pin. If people go to the link and then they jump right back to Pinterest, Pinterest doesn't like that. They want to see people staying on the page for a while because that tells Pinterest that it's a good article, and so they should show that link to more people. So especially for e-commerce, I think it's really important to put something on the pin just to indicate that this is a product. It's not a tutorial. It's not a kit. It's a product. And just let people know what they're getting into when they click on it. And don't think that people won't click on it, because people go to Pinterest to get ideas to shop, and they do buy things. Pinterest has a very high rate of people buying things while they're on the platform. So I think you definitely should have something. It doesn't necessarily need to be shop now, but there should be something like new collection or, one of a kind items, just something like that, to tell people that when they click through to this link, it's going to an e-commerce site so that they don't bounce back fast and send a bad signal to Pinterest. Okay. It also helps because Pinterest reads the text on your pins and it tells them where to categorize things. So, all right. The next question, now this is a good one. When should you pin seasonal content? All right, 4 months ahead. I think I will be consistent with that and say 4 months ahead that I would be pinning, like if for Christmas, maybe 6 months, because people start early with Christmas. But depending on the holiday, 4 months ahead is a safe bet. And sometimes you can pin, like right now it is the middle of January. I am pinning a few Valentine's Day things, so that's only 1 month out, but my accounts tend to get seen faster because I know how to do the keyword part of it. And I'm not expecting those pins to do much this year. Next year, they'll be great. Next year, they will be in the system. They will be annotated. Pinterest will know what they are. And they will be getting a little bit of traffic throughout the year, but not as much. And then seasonality, you want them to be in the system for 4 months, just as a general rule. That's not hard and fast, but a month is usually too late. So if you were saying now in the middle of January, oh, I have a brand new Pinterest account and I'm going to pin some Valentine's Day stuff, you can do that, but don't expect it to be seen this year. That's going to be good for next year. This year, not so much. You should be looking 4 months ahead and say what holidays are coming up then. So maybe July, 4th of July, do summer things. Start the autumn stuff in the summer or late spring. You just need to make sure that you have given Pinterest enough time to categorize and start showing your pins when the demand starts. And that's 4 months. Okay. How to pin for e-commerce is another question, which I think I kind of covered. You just have to make sure that you are letting people know that they're going to an e-commerce site. And I think I did cover this already with the text overlay. You can do, okay, with the text overlay or just the photo, you can do just the photo of the product as long as the title, which is going to be showing under the pin, makes it clear that this is a product. And you don't have to put the same text on the pin and on the title. Those are two separate areas, and you can put different keywords in each. But I definitely would make it clear in one of those two places that this is a product pin somehow. Okay. And that's how you pin for e-commerce. But you have to look how to fit into the Pinterest ecosystem. You have to find an angle, and I talk about that in my class, finding the angle that you want to use. And you also have to be willing to go outside your angle a little bit, because the more keywords you can target, the more opportunities you have for Pinterest to show you to different people. But at the same time, you have to make sure that people know that this is a buying site, not just a craft site or DIY and that kind of thing. It is a little tricky, but and you might not get as many clicks. If you have Shop Now or something like that on your pins, you might not get as many saves, as many clicks, but the ones that you do get are going to be from people who actually go to the site and they know they're going to be looking at something to purchase. And that will be better for your Pinterest account in the long run, as opposed to, like I said, people jumping right back to Pinterest because they don't like that bounce. That's not good for your Pinterest account. Okay, so give this video a thumbs up. Leave me any questions if you have them. And if you want to take my Pinterest class, I'll put the link in the description. I will talk to you later.